Hi, I'm Amy and I make things. In today's video, I'm making some hard decisions about how to get unstuck on a stalled project. Hang around and let's see what happens. I'll start with a story. Last summer, my cousin asked me to make new quilts for her 4 children. I said, sure, no problem. What are they into? She said, the little one is into Peppa Pig and the 3 boys are into Fortnite. I said, cool, what else are they into? So she told me the boys were really into baseball, which is fantastic. I ordered Atlanta Braves fabric and all the things that went with it and got working on these 4 quilts. I chose simple patterns that would be quick to make and vary them just slightly from one another, enough so that they could tell them apart, but not so much so that they would argue about which one was different and which one was theirs. Thought about all the things. I'm gonna back them with Minky. I'm plugging away, everything's going great. I get to the part where you have to add sashing and I'm like, I don't want to do that right now, but I've got time. Set it aside for a minute. And then life turned upside down. Life was upside down and stressful for about 4 months. And I didn't plan on that. No one really plans on that. And now, here we are, over a year later, and the kids still don't have their quilts. And I'm stuck. I got stuck. And not for one of the usual reasons that I often get stuck. I didn't run out of materials or get bored with the idea or not have something that I needed to finish it or make a mistake that I didn't feel like ripping out at the time or didn't know how to work around. I didn't hate the way the fabrics were coming together. There's none of those things. No, I'm blocked on this because it has all these yucky feelings associated with it strictly because of timing. I set the project aside because I didn't want to do sashing right now, but it stayed set aside because things were in upheaval and I couldn't work on anything. And now it's associated with all those yucky, stressful feelings. The thing is, I really want to finish these projects. Sometimes when there's a project like this, my way out is to say, you know what? I don't like the way that feels, and I'm going to pass it on to someone who will finish it, who doesn't have those feelings associated with the project. In this case, though, I really want to finish these 4 quilts for these sweet kids. So what I'm going to do, and I need your help, what I'm going to do is employ all my usual get unstuck tactics. Number 1, I pull everything out and evaluate where I am, what I need to finish, what time those steps might take, and decide what is the next step. When I've got a project that's been put away for a long time, that's the first step I always take. Evaluate where I actually am. Part of that evaluation process was to realize that I was stuck on this project because of its association with a very stressful time in our lives. That time is over, things are well, now I can move on. And now the project can move on. The next thing I do when I'm blocked or stuck is I ask for help. Is there a step that I don't want to finish that I'm stuck on? Do I need to just say, no, this is never going to make it to my long arm and send it out to someone else? In this case, these quilts need to be laid out and that's difficult physically for me. So I'll employ the help of my family to get these quilts laid out so that I can get the tops sewn together. Another tactic I'm going to use is I'm going to schedule this in. I'm making these quilts a priority for September and I'm going to schedule them in my daily sewing and know which steps I need to complete on the timeline in order to not end up in a crunch and not end up shoving it back in the box and back on the shelf and have 4 kids with no quilts. Something that helps me do that is to work with a timer. If I can work against a timer, it does 2 things. 1, it gives me a time frame where I know this is when I'm going to work on that and this is when I'm finished and can do other things that I want to do. Number 2, it reminds me to get up and move. Most of the time I set the timer for 30 minutes or an hour so that I will get up out of my chair, move my body, and not hurt myself further with this arthritis in my hip. The third tactic I'm going to use is I'm going to sew with a friend. When I sew with my guild buddies and we hang out at each other's houses, this is the project I'm going to be working on. I'm going to take these 4 quilts with me every time until they're finished, or until they're too big to carry with me. Then we'll meet at my house. The next thing I'm going to employ is I'm going to employ the accountability to you guys. This is where I really need your help. I'm going to report back on Sundays in a weekend update what I've gotten done for the week. Knowing that I'm filming that update and reporting back to you guys that you're expecting it will help keep me motivated to keep moving and to have something to show you. The main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the kids. I'm going to focus on their smiling faces and completed quilts in their arms. That's the big motivation. I want to have these projects finished by mid-October, and I've got a travel week in the middle of that, so it's a big ask. And I'm counting on the accountability and the help of others to get all this done. So let me know, what do you think of my plan? Before you go out in the world to make it more beautiful just by being in it, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe. I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time.